Meantime, the Lakers. Okay, so here's what LeBron says. There have been times when we're at our best, we look really good. And there are other times where it's disgusting.
You know what that sounds like, Ernie?
What?
Sounds like an old man. Like when you wake up in the morning, sometimes I'll be like, ooh, I feel good. Then that next day you'd be like,
that's
sciatica,
disgusting.
Sciatica, it's hurting.
Charles Barkley opened his mouth about the Lakers once again, and what followed was so sharp, so precise, that it actually hurt to laugh. The Washington Generals dig the Oprah Winfrey impression, the sciatica jab fired directly at LeBron. Chuck held absolutely nothing back, and every single word connected. This was not just another segment. This one was genuinely something else.
Why?
Why do you hate the Lakers? Chuck, tell us.
Why I hate the Lakers? It's always somebody else's fault. Remember 3 years ago, it was Russell Westbrook's fault. Then it was Frank Vogel's fault. Then it was D'Angelo Russell's fault. Then it was Darvin Ham's fault. It's always somebody else's fault. And it bothers me. Listen, you don't always blame other people for your shortcomings.
But my point is, it's got to do with style of play, got to do with
effort, Kenny.
Effort.
Yeah,
Come on, Kenny. This is the same thing.
Before we even get into the substance of what was said, let's take a moment to appreciate Charles Barkley for what he truly is. Because at this point, the man has elevated Lakers commentary into something that deserves to be preserved and studied.
Like an Oprah Winfrey show, you get a basket, you get a basket, you get a basket. Everybody who plays against the Lakers, they gonna make everybody look good. I mean, they're like the Washington Generals. They every team's the Globetrotters against them. I mean, and we can keep sugarcoating it, and I know they're going to make us talk about the Lakers. The Lakers are a mediocre team.
Anyone who watches the NBA regularly already understands that the Lakers are Chuck's go-to subject. Not because he has any affection for the franchise, but because they deliver him the most dependable, most consistent stream of material. The kind that sends drinks flying out of people's hands mid-sip.
As Dallas played without Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, this was all about the Lakers.
And the Lakers proved to what I keep saying. The Lakers stink, plain and simple. We have to talk about them because the media is infatuated with the Lakers. But the Lakers are not a good team. They got zero athletic ability. They got a good shot every time. The Lakers could never keep them in front of them. This was a coaching masterpiece by Jason Kidd because there's no way that team that the Mavs put out there, especially one winning by 20, basically.
For years now, the Lakers have functioned as Chuck's comedy gift that simply refuses to stop giving. The latest edition of Inside the NBA dropped a few fresh pieces of material right into his lap, and he handled them with the confidence of someone who has spent decades doing exactly this. It all kicked off with a quote from LeBron himself. LeBron stated directly in a press conference that there are moments when the Lakers look genuinely impressive and other moments when the performance is, in his own words, disgusting. The man stood at a podium and called his own team disgusting. Whether that reflects remarkable self-awareness or a quiet cry for help depends entirely on how generous you're willing to be.
He just described who he should be and who the team should be based on what their personnel is at that time. They are old in certain parts. They don't have perimeter.
Wait, he's the only one old.
But they don't have perimeter defense. Young at the perimeter. So now there's no resistance for guys that get downhill.
Yes.
And I think that is the biggest thing. You know, yes, they don't have a great shot blockers, but they have shot block ability. But they do not have resistance at the 1, 2, and 3 position. And that is indicative of why they play.
Barkley took that quote and constructed something no one in the audience will be forgetting anytime soon. He compared it to the experience of getting older. One morning, everything flows. Your body cooperates. Your movement feels sharp and effortless. The very next morning, the sciatica has other plans, and nothing in your body wants to work with you. The connection Barkley drew between LeBron's description of his team and the lived physical reality of aging was so precise and so perfectly timed that the entire Inside the NBA set completely fell apart. And here's the thing, it was not cruelty for cruelty's sake. It was accurate. LeBron James is in his 40s competing at the highest level of professional basketball, and his team swings between brilliant and broken with very little warning in between. That is not random. That is exactly what late career athleticism looks like when a 41-year-old body is being asked to perform night after night on a back-to-back schedule. But Chuck was nowhere near finished. He never is.
Play like that. I agree
J.J.
with
Bennett
Kenny.
going more to his zone, too, to address the defensive issues on that team.
Absolutely, and like you mentioned, like Luka and Austin Reeves have been terrific offensively. Luka flirt with a triple-double every night. Austin Reeves been killing the league, averaging over 25 points, but they've been a turnstile on defense. And whoever comes to town can just beat them off the dribble, drive and kick, and get other guys open. But you wanted to also get more from DeAndre Ayton as an anchor when you acquire him as the Lakers, and he's been pedestrian a lot of times, and I just don't think the Lakers, even though LeBron does a really good job at his.
But when you open a bee's nest and all the bees, it's hard to block all the bees. You got DeAndre in there like this. It's like you got to have resistance out front.
But even offensively.
When the panel shifted into the actual basketball reasons behind the Lakers' defensive struggles, the conversation became genuinely analytical and worth paying close attention to. Beneath all the jokes, they're the real problem. The Lakers simply do not have perimeter defenders at the 1, 2, and 3 positions capable of consistently stopping players who attack downhill. When guards and wings are allowed to drive freely into the paint, everything behind them gets put under enormous pressure. Shot blockers are forced to work overtime. Defensive rotations become far more complicated, and the entire defensive structure shifts from proactive to purely reactive. DeAndre Ayton arrived with the expectation that he would serve as a true anchor in the paint, a physical deterrent presence who could clean up the damage caused by perimeter breakdowns. By most honest assessments, he has been pedestrian. Not a disaster, not the only issue, but far from the defensive pillar the Lakers needed when they made that move. The bee's nest analogy surfaced during the discussion, and it captures the problem well. No perimeter resistance is essentially like leaving a bee's nest wide open. Every driver who gets into the paint arrives with full momentum. You can have length, size, and shot-blocking talent back there, but when multiple drivers are already through because nobody stopped them at the source, blocking all of them becomes mathematically impossible. When perimeter defense is that open, the rotations simply do not add up.
Let's talk about the Lakers. The Lakers are a mediocre team. Now, they got some really good teams in the West that we should be talking about, because I'm starting to get on this San Antonio bandwagon right now. Obviously, we got OKC and Denver. We got Houston. But, man, them Spurs, they're knocking on that.
Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic have been flat-out exceptional on the offensive end. That is not up for debate. Doncic is flirting with a triple-double on virtually any given night. Reeves has been averaging over 25 points per game and has quietly put together one of the more impressive individual seasons in the entire Western Conference. Offensively, the Lakers can score, and they have the firepower to put points on the board against almost any opponent. They currently sit 5th in the West, and for just the 11th time this season, LeBron, Reeves, and Doncic are all expected to share the floor together. You get a basket, you get a basket, everybody gets a basket. That Oprah Winfrey comparison, the famous moment where she gave away cars to her entire studio audience, applied directly to the Lakers' defensive generosity, was a construction so perfect it deserved a standing ovation on its own. Because that is genuinely what Lakers' defense resembles right now. Every team that walks into the building collects their points. Every opposing player looks like an all-star against them on the perimeter. Step right up, the points are free, and they are available every single night. Then came the Washington Generals line. For those unfamiliar, the Washington Generals exist for one purpose: to lose to the Harlem Globetrotters. The Globetrotters are the spectacle. The Generals are the foil. Their entire institutional identity is built around being the team that gets beaten night after night. Charles Barkley looked at the Los Angeles Lakers, a franchise carrying 17 championships, the legacy of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kobe Bryant, and declared them the Washington Generals. Every opponent, he said, is the Harlem Globetrotters. Every team rolls in and puts on a show because the Lakers make everyone look sensational. The audience erupted, the panel erupted, and somewhere in the back of every Lakers fan's mind, a quiet voice was probably saying the same thing. He is not entirely wrong. On the Clippers side, Lawrence Frank attempted to frame his team's situation with optimism, insisting the goals had not changed and this was not a white flag moment. Barkley's response was immediate and precise, pointing out that the Clippers have waved every color of flag imaginable at this point. Purple, orange, blue, the full collection. The white flag is simply the latest addition to a long line of surrenders that began the moment Kawhi Leonard's injury history became a permanent chapter in the team story. But the Lakers were the centerpiece of this segment, and Barkley made absolutely certain it delivered. The broader defensive analysis from the panel was substantive and worth taking seriously beneath all the entertainment. The Lakers are 5th in the Western Conference right now, which sounds acceptable on the surface. But 5th in the West means facing a playoff bracket that includes Oklahoma City, Denver, Houston, and the San Antonio Spurs, all of whom are playing sharper, more defensively cohesive basketball than the Lakers are currently showing. Barkley specifically mentioned jumping on the San Antonio bandwagon, and that comment deserves real attention, because Chuck does not distribute praise without a reason behind it. The Spurs sit 3rd in the Western Conference and have already defeated Oklahoma City, the number 1 seed, 3 separate times this season. Dylan Harper is putting up 11 points per game as a 19-year-old rookie. The entire organization has been reconstructed around young talent with genuine upside. And the way they are doing it suggests this is not a single season story, but the foundation of something built to last. The Lakers, by contrast, are built around an aging superstar in the final chapter of his career, a transformational talent in Luka Doncic who still has not been fully woven into the team's identity, and a supporting cast that brings real offensive pop alongside genuinely alarming defensive vulnerabilities. The formula produces magic on certain nights and completely unravels on others, which is precisely what LeBron was describing when he used the word disgusting. What separates Barkley's commentary from the rest is his willingness to say directly what much of sports media is still carefully tiptoeing around. The Lakers are a mediocre team right now, not broken enough to be compelling as a rebuild, not strong enough to pose a legitimate threat to the Western Conference's elite. They are lodged in that maddening middle territory, relevant enough to command national attention because LeBron James generates national attention by simply existing, yet not capable enough to convert that spotlight into anything meaningful when May and June arrive. The conversation about LeBron's physical decline makes a lot of media figures visibly uncomfortable, which is exactly why Barkley addressing it through a sciatica joke is simultaneously hilarious and completely necessary. The physical reality of playing professional basketball at 41 years old, even for someone as meticulously maintained as LeBron, shows up in the precise inconsistency he described himself. Great nights and disgusting nights. Good mornings and bad mornings. Days when the body cooperates and days when the sciatica wins. None of this diminishes what LeBron has accomplished. His longevity alone stands as one of the most extraordinary athletic achievements in the history of professional sports, and it deserves every bit of recognition it receives. But honoring the achievement does not require pretending the decline is invisible. Barkley is one of the very few mainstream voices willing to state that plainly, without burying it under layers of qualifiers and diplomatic hedging. The detail about LeBron Reeves and Doncic sharing the floor together just 11 times this season also reveals something significant about the bigger picture. A trio that's central to the team's offensive and defensive structure has played together 11 times in a season already well past its midpoint. Injuries, load management, scheduling conflicts, all of it has prevented the core from developing the chemistry and continuity that championship-level teams build across months of consistent play. Real defensive cohesion cannot be built in 11 games. The rotational trust and assignment clarity that playoff defense demands cannot develop when your most important players have not spent enough time on the court together. The Lakers move toward zone defense, leaning on it more heavily to mask their perimeter issues. Tells you a great deal about where the coaching staff currently stands. Zone is a tool teams reach for when their man-to-man personnel cannot reliably stop opponents in isolation. It works as a wrinkle, a rhythm disruptor, a temporary change of pace. But leaning on zone defense in the playoffs against elite offenses is not a strategy. It is a bandage. The Spurs, the Thunder, the Nuggets, those teams will identify the gaps in a zone and make them pay every single time. The Washington Generals comparison cuts deep because the Lakers have spent the bulk of this season making every team they face look more dangerous than they actually are. Opponents come in, attack the perimeter, get into the paint, kick out to open shooters, and leave with box scores that fill their highlight reels for weeks. The Harlem Globetrotters have been running straight through the Lakers' defense with the exact same freedom the real Globetrotters have enjoyed against the actual Generals since 1971. Chuck saw it clearly, said it directly, and everyone laughed, the crowd, the panel, and every Lakers fan at home, in that very specific, very painful way that people laugh when something true is said about something they love. The Western Conference is stacked this season. Oklahoma City leads the way. San Antonio is right behind them and making serious noise. Denver brings championship experience and battle-tested resolve. Houston brings energy, youth, and defensive discipline. The Lakers, sitting at 5th, have a considerable amount of work ahead of them if they want to be viewed as genuine contenders rather than a first-round exit waiting to be scheduled. Barkley is not going to stop talking about the Lakers. They are too prominent nationally, and they are too consistently generous with the material. But the quality of what they have been handing him this season has climbed to a whole new level. And for anyone hoping the Lakers find their footing before April, that is not good news at all.